Okay, so in this video, I just want to have a little bit of fun. So what we're going to do is I want to create a virtual hard drive and a partition. So I'm going to show you how to create a virtual hard drive and a partition on, say, one actual hard drive. So in order to do that, just go to Explorer, right? And then this PC, just right click it, go to Manage. Okay, and then in disk management, click on disk management. Right, so here I have my C drive, and there's just a CD-ROM drive. Okay, so obviously you must have enough space to create these virtual hard drives and partitions if you want to install operating systems to them. So that's the next thing I want to do. So I'm going to create two partitions. So the one partition I'm going to leave alone, and then I'm going to create a virtual hard drive, but I'm going to save it on the one partition. And then I'm going to create a partition on the virtual hard drive. And then I'm going to install an OS to the normal partition, and I'm going to install OS to the virtual hard drive and an OS to the partition on the virtual hard drive. Yeah, nice and confusing, but anyway, let's see see how that will work. So let's head over by creating a partition first. So all you have to do is right click on your C drive. If you have an extra hard drive, you can create as many partitions as you like. So right click and say shrink volume. So we're gonna have to shrink the C volume so that we can have space for our partition. Right, and then you need to set the size of the partition. So this is in megabytes. So I want at least 20. Let me just think, 20 gig per partition, and virtual hard drive should be more than enough for all those OSs. So let's see, numlock on 20,000. Yeah, let's go. Right, so it's a 20 gig unallocated space. Let's create another one. Right, again, 20,000 megs, about 20 gig. Oh yeah, it just adds it to that one, 40. New simple volume. Yeah, I was now stupid, wasn't I? I should have formatted that first. Well, this is good. So now I can show you how to actually get that space back. So all you have to do is right click on C again and say extend volume. Next, it will just automatically select the open space. Alright, so let's create this one again. So shrink volume by 20. So the first one is 20 gig. And then you have to create a new simple volume. Just run through this, gives it the drive letter, and if is format finish. So a partition will look exactly like an actual drive on your system. So let's shrink some more. Again, 20. Right, so new simple volume. Next, finished. That's E, that's F. Okay, now I've got my two partitions. So let's create a virtual hard drive. We come up here to action and we say create VHD. Right, so this is where you're going to save that VHD file. So a virtual hard drive is just a normal file with a hard drive structure inside. So you can actually save that file anywhere you like, on a flash drive, on your desktop, wherever. I'm going to save it on this partition. Let's go there. So which one is first? E, F. I think it's F. Open F, and then we'll give it a name. Okay, so let me think. Windows. Let's just install Windows 10 to that one. So we'll call it Windows 10. Forget the space. Save. Make it a VHDX. It will be dynamically expanded if it needs more space. Right, and then you have to state the size of this hard drive, obviously. So just change this to gigabytes. So because I made that 20, I might as well make it 20 and see, because it will expand. The partition is not 20, but anyway. Okay, so now it will use that whole partition for this virtual hard drive. So let's just call this, where do you change the names? Properties. Yeah, right. So this will be the, let's just call it VHD partition. VHD partition. So I know the VHD is on this partition. Apply. I'm just gonna call this normal partition. Normal partition. So that we don't get confused. Right, so here's your virtual hard drive. You obviously have to initialize it with GPT, so we can install the newer OSs to it. Right, then there's 20 gigs of unallocated space. You just need to do the same thing. New simple volume. Next. G, isn't there G? Oh no, it's F and E. Next. Finished. And there's your virtual hard drive. So it actually looks a bit different. It shows up as an actual drive here in disk management, where the partitions doesn't. But if you go to Explorer, it all looks like hard drives. So there's the normal partition, VHD partition with the VHD on there, the file. Let's see. Yeah, there's the actual VHD file. Inside, it's got the hard drive structure inside. And then this is the virtual hard drive, but it's saved on there. Oh yeah, I have to just give that a name as well. So this is the VHD. VHD. Apply, okay. Yeah, it looks pretty simple. Okay, so now I want to create, just to be funny, I want to create a partition on this VHD. So I'm going to shrink those volumes, so it works exactly the same. Oh, I've made a mistake. What an idiot. I forgot I have to make this double in size actually. So I'm gonna have to kill this, delete this volume. Yeah, just delete it. Well, it is what it is. And then take back that space and give it, you see, it's already confusing for me anyway. Shrink volume, so I have to make it 40, right? Yeah, because I want 20 for the virtual hard drive and then 20 for the virtual hard drive partition. Yeah, 40. Stupid. Stupid shrink. Still enough space there. Nice. New simple volume. Alright, that's better. Action. Create VHD. Location. Save, right? Yeah, if. What am I looking there for? So, I definitely want Windows 10 on here. Yeah, save that. VHDX. Like I say, gigabyte 20. Let's make it 20,000. 20. Did I just screw up again? I have to make this 40. Oh, this is actually the first time I'm doing this. That's why I'm screwing up. So, again and again. If Windows, now why is it? Oh, it's. Can I just overwrite it? Just make sure it doesn't create a double file there. But I doubt it. So 40. You goddamn idiot. File exists. I'm gonna have to delete that file now. The question is, that it's there. Right, get it there. It's quite tricky. Like that. That 40. Browse. Okay, this should work now. Windows goddamn 10 for the last time. All this is good. Okay, let's go. Initialize. Boom. Right, new simple volume. Right, that looks better. Now I can create that partition. Shrink it by 20. 20,000. Oh no. So yeah, 20, 20, and 20. This is the free places that we're gonna install OSs to. So it's free OSs. This is gonna be Windows 10 on the virtual hard drive. Then let's install Windows 11 to that one, and then Linux to the normal partition. Yeah. So anyway, this is how you set up partitions and virtual hard drives. It'll all show up here. Boom. So if you just want to create a virtual hard drive or a partition, to save some extra, to keep files separate, certain files separate, or gaming files, or whatever, you can do that. You can actually, I think, another thing that's good to do if you want to use BitLocker is to actually encrypt one of your virtual hard drives with the files that you want on there. I'm not sure if BitLocker works in a partition. I don't know. Turn on BitLocker. It probably does. Yeah, it probably does. Anyway, I never had a use for virtual hard drive. That's why I'm doing it now, just to see how it works. And so on. So let's get installing. Okay, so for the installation, let's just I'm using Hyper-V. So this is the Windows that we created all that partitions and VHD on. So it's Windows Enterprise. It's a nice and light Windows to run. So just ignore that server. So this is running now, as you can see here. It's running. There's all that partitions and VHDs that we've created. So sitting on here. So what we need to do now is go to settings on that machine and load the right DVD or ISO file into the DVD drive. So just choose image file and browse. So we want to install, let's go for, this is Windows 11, but I've got this tiny 11 for a test drive, but it is actually Windows 11. So we can load that in, apply. Let's just make sure the boot order is fine. So DVD, let's move that up so it should actually boot that tiny 11 first. If it starts up, yeah, that should be it. So we can restart this. It's a shame it doesn't have a reboot. You have to shut it down. Oh well, shut it down then. So this will shut down and we can boot it up again. So let's just kill that. Why is it taking so long now? Sometimes it's quicker, now it's just showing me the middle finger. Oh my lord. Why? Why? Why are you still running? Exit. Jeez. Right, start up, you piece of shit. Oh my god, Windows, Hyper-V, all this bull. Right, media, it's definitely in there. Press any key so I can boot up with that ISO. Shit, hope it didn't freeze now. So let's make this big. Hopefully I don't have to do that hardware compatibility bypass thing. Probably gonna have to. Oh my goodness. Totally forgot how to do it. Okay, it's looking good. Right, setup. Next. It's gonna ask me that hardware stuff. I just know it. Okay, so one thing with virtual hard drives, it detaches every time you restart your computer or your virtual machine. So you have to attach them again. So the only stuff that shows up here is the two normal partitions that I've created, and there's no virtual disk on here. So you're gonna have to go into command line, shift F10, just attach it. So we have to go into, first you need to know where you saved it. So I've saved it to that partition, but with Windows pre-installation environment, it changes all the drive letters up. So we can go through them, like C drive, you can check, okay, this is the base operating system. D. Okay, so mine is D. I did call it Windows 10, but I'm gonna install Windows 11 to it. Made a little mistake, but this is where that virtual hard drive is sitting, VHDX, VHD. So it's just on the D. So we can type in disk part. Right, and then the command to attach that virtual disk is select vdisk file equals, and then in quotes, that path. So mine is on D, yours would be something else. And then the name of the virtual disk, so it was Windows 10 dot VHDX. Select that. Successful, and then just attach it. Attach V disk. Okay, and then exit. Close this, and then we have to refresh this. And there it is. There it is. So let me just not confuse myself. So there's the partition for the VHD. So that VHD sits on this partition. So we can just ignore that partition. There's the normal partition that we're going to use later. And then this is the VHD file. So this is the actual virtual hard drive that we've created. And this is the partition on the virtual hard drive that we've created. We're going to use that later. So we need to install to that one. I wonder. Let's just say next. 20 gigs should be enough for Windows. I've done it before. Anyway, we'll come back when it's finished. Okay, so we're installing Windows Server on the virtual hard drive partition. Okay, so as you can see, I have multiple OSs on here. So this is your deal boot menu. So Windows 11, it's one of the Windows Tiny 11s. I think it's that one. Windows Server, Microsoft Windows. I'm not sure which one that is. Windows 10, this is the local one, the enterprise. And one of them didn't finish, but it still shows up, probably entry in the EFI file or something. So yeah, it's multiple boot on so yeah, so this is Tiny 11, Windows 11. This sits on the virtual hard drive. This is the main the main OS, Windows Enterprise, and then Windows Server installed on the partition on the virtual hard drive. And yeah, okay, so I did say I was going to install Linux on the normal partition, but I used what's that program's name, EasyBCD, to actually change the partition so that Linux can actually show up in the Windows menu like this. But apparently you need the Pro version to do that, and I said nah, screw that. I mean, there is a way to do it in Windows and command line, but it seems like a lot of work, and no, not gonna do it. So that's pretty much the boot menus. I did install Linux, but it doesn't show up here. So yeah, this is pretty much a dual boot video. Good.